Hello. Welcome to Product Drive 2025. I'm your host, Jessica C. DeBaca, Director of Demand Gen at UserPilot. Apologize for the delay on getting started here. We had a lot of Q&A in the last session. Over the next 2 days, you'll hear from the product leaders and growth experts on how AI is reshaping the way we build, price, and scale products. Before I introduce our speaker, a quick plug for UserPilot, of course. In case you are not already aware, UserPilot is an AI-enabled product growth platform that automatically captures user behaviors and events, generates custom dashboards, and allows product teams to easily build powerful in-app engagements. From walkthroughs and checklists to gathering user feedback, you no longer need developer support. This week, we're introducing our product growth agent, and to celebrate, every Product Drive attendee gets a free 3-month POC of our platform. So details will be in your inbox after the event. Okay, let's get started. All right. Quick intro on Natalia. All right, Natalia is our Senior Product Marketing Manager at UserPilot with a specialized background in PLG strategies. Throughout her career, she's developed a deep understanding of how to leverage products to drive user acquisition, conversion, and retention. Natalia is dedicated to empowering other companies to unlock their full potential through effective product growth methodologies. All right, without further ado, please welcome Natalia.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining and sorry for the delay again. I'm gonna quickly share my screen. Classic question, Jessica, can you see it?
Yes, we can all see
Okay,
it.
perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm gonna close this for myself. Alrighty, so hello everyone. Without further ado, in today's session, we're gonna cut through the noise of product engagement platforms. I don't want to waste your time with some vendor hype or giant grid of checkboxes. The goal is very simple. In the next 30 minutes, I want to give you a no BS framework that will help you to choose the right tool that you will actually use and move the needle for you. So at the end of the session, I'm also going to share a calculator with you that you can, after your session, take to your team, and that should help you with evaluating the tools. So let's start. And let's kick off by unpacking what we even mean when we say the right tool, because there is no best product engagement platform, only what's best for you and your team. So think about it as with hiring. You're not asking, who is the best person in the world? You're asking who is the best fit for this role in this company at this stage. So this is my 4-step framework that we will keep coming back to today. And think of it as your compass in this crowded SaaS platform space. There are too many options right now. So whether you're looking at 5 vendors or just trying to figure out if you should switch tools, these 4 steps will keep you focused on what actually matters. So before we dive into each of these steps, I want to very quickly discuss and touch upon why is it so important to choose the right tool. Well, basically the reason we are having this webinar. In UserPilot, we see a lot of teams to do one or even all of these mistakes. First one is that teams decide they want to save some money and they try to build everything in-house. So imagine custom tooltips made by developers, hacky analytics, feedback forms in Google Docs. This usually is wasting time, wasting the very precious engineering time on tasks that can be so easily automated. So even if this process works, it's really fragile, disconnected, and very hard to maintain and scale as you grow. The other problem is the complete opposite. So that's when we see teams starting to stack one tool on top of each other. They have one for onboarding, one for analytics, one for session replay. The result is a huge tool fatigue, content switching, siloed data, roadblocks in workflow processes, and at the end, the company ends up with a massive overall bill. And the last mistake for me is the biggest one. It's just choosing the wrong tool. So it may have looked great in the demo. Maybe it works perfectly for another team. But if it's too complex, too rigid, your team just won't use it. And an unused tool, well, that is the most expensive one. So what you should be doing instead, coming back to my framework, we'll start with being intentional. So starting with specific product goals, use cases, and mapping those use cases to platform strengths based on specific criteria that we're just going to discuss, and then evaluating the platform also on overall criteria that I'm going to show you as well. So these are the 4 steps that we're going to discuss in detail right now. And I will start with a step 1, aligning on product goals. So one of the most common mistakes that I see teams doing is that they jump straight to the features, right? They look for the features in a demo, they go to look at the product landing pages, but take a step back, sit down with your team and ask yourself, what are we trying to achieve with the company right now? What is the goal that we would like to achieve with this tool that we want to acquire right now? Is it to improve activation? Is it to find out what our users are actually doing in the tool and then based on that engage them? Or are we trying to collect feedback and boost our NPS? Whatever your primary product goal is, it should shape everything else. So that is very important because every platform tends to perform in some of the areas, but definitely in not all of them. Once we know what is our product goal, we need to define specific use cases. So we need to be very specific and really look into what we are actually looking for. So instead of saying like we need onboarding, say, well, we need to guide new users with interactive walkthroughs. We probably need checklists, tooltips. We also want to be able to create a resource center and connect it with our knowledge base. The more specific you are, the easier it's going to be to filter the vendors that they can or cannot support your use case. Different users also need different experiences. So when you think of it, a first-time user might need interactive walkthroughs and checklists. Your power user, you want to engage with subtle nudges or dismissible tooltips. Also, the experience for enterprise user is going to look very different to small business trial user. So it's very critical to define those use cases in the context of your user segmentation. So not just what you want to build, but for who you are building these experiences. And that's also where tools differ a lot. So some offer very rich segmentation, others are pretty surface level. Once we have the list of these use cases, of these features, we need to rank them. So I'll be talking about this in our calculator, but basically we need to rank them which features are our must-haves and which are our nice-to-have. And last point here is don't just take vendor's word for it, right? Test your top use cases against their actual product because you are not evaluating how powerful the product is in general. You are evaluating how well it handles your scenario. And that's the difference between like theoretical fit and actual practice. So this is exactly what we're gonna do right now. And we're gonna go beyond surface level features checklist and start identifying which platforms are actually good at what you need them for, right? Because a lot of these platforms, we all claim we have onboarding, analytics, feedback, but the real question is which tool is best for driving onboarding for non-technical teams? Which one has deep analytics with a retroactive tracking? So we're gonna go deep dive into these 3 most common use cases, and we're gonna be looking at what features and capabilities you should be looking at that are non-negotiable, what to look in a demo or trial, and then which tools tend to perform best in each category. So I'm gonna take a sip and we can start with one of the most common use cases, and that's driving activation, improving product adoption, basically helping users to discover your features. The most effective onboarding and adoption strategies aren't built with just one pattern, right? You need flexibility. So think welcome models, slide outs, checklists, banners. The best platforms, they offer a wide range of these elements, and most importantly, they allow you to customize them to match your brand, tone of voice. So look for also features like design systems, themes, so also your UX team will be on board with this. Check also supported platforms for example, mobile devices, if you're operating on more engagement platforms. So you want to be looking for a variety of patterns there, for example, as mobile push notifications or carousels. Now, let's talk about team usability. It's one thing to have powerful features, but the question is, can your product managers or marketers actually use them without waiting on developers? If the platform has a learning curve that requires weeks of onboarding, it's going to slow your team down. So at the end, it all comes down to, can a non-technical team member build and launch experiences quickly? Now we're getting to the more dynamic part. So you just don't, want to show a tooltip or a product tour. You want a guided experience that is going to unfold across steps and react based on user actions. So for example, you only want to show this feature if the user has already if the user's already engaged with another one, or trigger a checklist only when the user visits a certain page. So you definitely need to look for platforms with branching logic and advanced triggering conditions that are going to be happening in real time. So you want to make sure that the flow triggers as soon as the user action happened in the product. Next one is obviously one size fits all experiences kill adoption. So you need to have tools to be able to target the right message to the right user at the right time. That means targeting based on user properties like role, plan, language, on specific pages, URLs, as we talked about user signals as well, depending on the behavior they are doing. And also the best platforms should support multi-language localization. Now, finally, you can't improve what you don't measure, right? Right, so look for platforms that offer A/B testing or at very least flow level analytics like completion rates, drop-off points. You also want to be able to run experiments and answer, did this tooltip actually move the needle on activation for us? The bonus point is if the analytics are already built in the tool, so you can directly measure the impact on product metrics. Now, here's a quick snapshot of top-rated digital adoption platforms based on G2 reviews. These two may live under the same category, but they definitely serve different needs, teams, and company sizes. So, for example, UserPilot is best suited for quick-growing, no-code teams that really need to move fast. Then we have WalkMe and WhatFix that lean towards enterprise use cases that also need, for example, training needs. And then we have user guiding, for example, that is a lightweight, affordable option for startups. So the key takeaway here, even though these platforms might all check the same boxes on a paper, your job is to find the one that fits your use case, your goals, and your team's level of maturity. Now we're going to move to the second use case. So that's user behavior. Understanding user behavior. So once users are in your product, you need to understand what they're actually doing there, what's getting ignored, where are they getting stuck, and it starts all with capturing the right data. So I would be definitely looking at features like auto capture that helps you get the interaction data with really minimal setup. Then we have event-based analytics. Those give you the precision. So you can track meaningful actions like, did the user invite their teammate, or how many times have this feature been used? And lastly, also look at retroactive tracking feature. So you can define an event today and still analyze the past behavior. Now, once we have those data flowing into our tool, you need features that surface the story behind it. So look for funnels, trends, path reports to uncover the usage patterns and easily share that with your team. And also cohort analysis, for example, to compare behavior by different personas. Beyond behavior, the best tools also give you the understanding what is happening behind that data, so giving you the why. So first of all, you need to have obviously really good segmentation. So segmenting by users, by lifecycle, company size, and then connecting the data with also survey feedback or NPS scores to really have that 360 view of your users. And very important, again, if you have multiple applications or multiple platforms, you need to ensure that the tool can basically provide cross-platform tracking. So again, you get the complete picture of your system. And then you need to definitely look into if the system plays well with your stack. So make sure you have data export options or APIs, so you can already combine the platform's data with other tools like CRMs or BI dashboards. And my most important point for understanding user data and product analytics is all of that insights is useful, but if you can't act on them, uh, all of the insights is useless if you can't act on it. So the best tools close the loop between insight and action. So product and growth teams don't need to jump between different tools, lose the momentum, and can act instantly on the product signals. So here is a snapshot of some of top-rated product analytics platforms according to G2. These tools are very widely used. Again, they serve very different needs, and it's also important to know what trade-offs come with each. So you'll see tools like Mixpanel, Amplitude, LogRocket, all of them excellent tools when it comes to core product analytics. That said, they tend to fall short when it comes to closing the loop, like collecting enough feedback or triggering, contextual onboarding flows. So Amplitude actually has recently launched guides to address this, but it's still very early and in my opinion doesn't really match the maturity of dedicated engagement tools. On the other side, we have, for example, Pendo. Those offer analytics, in-app guidance, feedback, all in one platform, but it comes with a reputation of higher price point, complex setup, and often more dependency on engineering. So again, it's less about choosing the best product analytics tool and more about what's right for you. I would be also looking how much you want to handle in one platform versus stitching multiple together. Lastly, we have our final use case, which is all about, hearing directly from your users in the app. So first of all, the platform should support a wide range of survey formats because obviously different questions require different formats. I would also look into where the surveys live in the product. I've seen a lot of platforms that would have, for example, the polls and survey in a different part than the NPS. Which in my opinion is not very intuitive as various data live in various places and you need to be clicking in between those. Next is obviously logic and targeting. So you need to show the right survey to the right user using branching logic as well. So you are able to adapt follow-up questions based on the answers. Now, feedback is useful, but feedback with context is absolutely powerful. So look for also tools that let you connect the survey responses with session replays. So you can actually see what users were doing before, during, and after providing you the feedback. So this is really great also for debugging. And we saw each team to find their own use case for session replays. Once you've collected the feedback, it's time to measure it. So look for tools that definitely have built-in sentiment analysis, trend tracking, and support CRM integrations. So the feedback flows into your systems if you are already operating in Zendesk, Intercom, or HubSpot. And again, my most favorite part of it, most importantly, tools that let you act on the insight. So whether you see that a user provided you with a very low NPS or there is a confusion somewhere in their experience, you should be able to act on it directly from the same platform. Now, we've aligned on the product goals, defined use cases, mapped those use cases to platforms. But before you finalize any decision, there's one last step I would like you to make, and that's evaluate the final platform based on 6 core criteria. So first, can the platform support the actual UA patterns you need? Secondly, ask how quickly can your team get started? The more usable the platform, the more likely your team will adopt it and stick with it. Third, flexibility. So can you create flows, segment by user behavior, personalize experiences? You want a tool that will adapt to your workflow, not the other way around. Then we have analytics. So once you launch an experience, can you measure its impact? Bonus points if they like to also act on those insights without switching tools. Now we have pricing. We haven't touched pricing yet, but it's definitely one of the most critical ones. So you definitely want to go beyond the base price and ask, what actually happens at renewal? Are there price jumps? Are any essential features that I need locked behind very pricey add-ons? Platform that looks affordable on day one might become the most expensive tool 6 months in. So be bold and ask vendors directly, can you walk me through what pricing looks like in 1 year with the growth and realistic usage that we are expecting. And on top of the pyramid, we have support. So it's not just about help center, obviously, and bots, but ask, is real human support available when needed? Do they offer professional services? So can they help me with implementation, integrations, or more complex use cases? If you're migrating from another tool, is there dedicated migration support? The right support really makes a difference for you in starting the tool and launching experiences in 2 weeks and 2 quarters. So there is a huge difference in ROI. Now that we have walked through almost everything, it's time to bring it all together. So I have a simple tool that will help you to choose the right platform, our calculator. I will quickly show it to you. All right, here we have it. So first of all, we put here the tools that we would like to compare. So let's say user pilot, we want to compare it with Pendo, and let's say app queues. Now, here we have all the categories that we talked about, and under each category, you have the specific features. You can also add your own category. There is an overall valuation like cost, team fit. And here you weight. Now you weight each of these features based on how important it is for your product. So 1 is a nice to have, 3 is must have, right? Then you go tool by tool and score how well they meet each criterion. So 0, they don't match it at all. 5, it's absolutely excellent. So let's put some numbers here. And then basically the calculator will do the job for you and come up with the best match for you and your team. So the calculator really gives you the objective view of which tools are the best fit, not based on hype or flashy landing pages, but your specific product needs. So let's close this all and bring it all together. If there's one thing that I want you to take away from today, it's this: there is no perfect product engagement platform. The right tool is the one that aligns with your product, your goals, and your team's capabilities. So don't forget, instead of jumping straight to the features, take the step back, sit with your team, and discuss the main product goal and outcome you're experiencing from the tool. Be specific about the use cases, map them to platform strengths, and then evaluate the platform on overall criteria such as pricing, support, and so on. And remember, use our calculator to remove any guesswork that you can have, and we hope it's going to help you to find the best match for you. So thank you so much for joining today. And I also really want to quickly say that today at 5:30 p.m. UK time, we're going to have our fall release announcement done by our CEO and head of product, where we're going to unveil very exciting news. We're going to talk about AI solution for product growth. So make sure to be there. Thank you so much, all.
Thanks for joining us. We don't actually have time for Q&A. We have another event right after this, but we did have one quick question, Natalia, that was submitted, and it says, where does GA4 sit in here? Is it integrated?
GA4.
Yes, Google.
GA4 as we mean with the integration or with
I
integration
think
with
that's the question that they're asking. Whoever asked the question, would you like to give us a little bit more detail on that question?
I'll just give a quick response. We do, as a user pilot, we do have an integration with Google Analytics, so you are able to get the data flowing from G4 also.
That's likely what it was. Okay, so yes, so there is the integration. The details on that, if you have further questions, you can definitely reach out to Natalia directly. She is on LinkedIn, so you can find her there. Thank you so much, Natalia. That was great. Way to get through it that quickly.
Yes, and we will definitely be getting you a copy of the presentation, Melissa, as well as the calculator.
All right,
Thank
have a
you
great day,
everyone for
everybody.
joining.
Enjoy the rest of the event.